gang, it's JC, and this is the Daily Dose for Tuesday, February 8th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. We have great archives at the top of the page, the Wayback Machine, and all sorts of old video and old weather forecasts and old TV commercials and stuff that goes back 20, 25 years that I've been collecting for, a quarter century. And we throw a lot of it up there periodically. We put it in the archives. You can punch around and have a great old time. We also have our eye candy feature right along the bottom of the page. And, of course, we are on the air every day from 10 o'clock in the morning until 1 in the afternoon on the Big 550 KTRS here in St. Louis, along with Trish Gazelle. We have Eric Mink on Tuesdays. We have the ladies on Wednesday, professional comedian Joe Marlotti on Thursday, and on Friday it's Smash, Digging the Smash. I sort of have my eye on the outside out here today. Periodically, this is like for about the last 2.5 years now, we have a family of raccoons that's living in our tree out in back. Now, it goes up about, I'd say, maybe 70 feet into the air, and there's a little, like a branch that broke off, and what they did is they hollowed out the stump coming out of the side of the tree. It's a big, big tree. It's way up in the air, and they sort of hollowed it out. This thing like sticks out. There's a family. So early this morning, a lot of times by 5 in the morning, they might sniff around a little bit, and then they go back in. The sun comes up, and you don't see them anymore. So today, we hadn't seen them in a couple of months. And today, the big old daddy comes out, and he's fat as can be. And then another one comes out, and then a third one comes out, and then a fourth one comes out. So we got a whole family of raccoons out there. And again, I've talked to a lot of people, and some people say, they're not going to bother anybody. And then I've had other people say, get those raccoons out of your yard because all they'll do is damage to your property. So I got two schools of thought. I don't know what to do. You can't exactly shoot them out of the air, but where was I? Let's talk a little bit about this Green Bay thing, because I don't know if you saw it on the news last night. This is a town of only 100,000 people. And so they're going to have their victory celebration in the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. And the place is covered with snow. So yesterday they asked for volunteers, and like 1,000 people show up with shovels to shovel the snow out of the seating area, and then they throw it somewhere, and then they put it on dump trucks and carry it out, so that the place doesn't look like Antarctica when they have their victory celebration out there today. And this shows you how full of crap the TV networks are and the East Coast elite media out there. Because I don't know if you remember back in 1985 when it was the Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals in the World Series. All we heard about was the networks just crying and complaining and griping about the fact that it was two of the smaller television markets, because they love it when Boston and New York and Los Angeles and Chicago and places like that get into the postseason playoffs, whether it be football or baseball or whatever. And they're always grousing about the fact that, when the small market teams get in, that affects the TV ratings, and then that brings the revenue down, and then they don't make as much money, and then they can't, I don't know what they can't do. Jerry Jones can't build a $1 billion stadium. So what do we have here? We have Pittsburgh, one of the smaller markets in the NFL, and Green Bay, the smallest city that even has a professional sports franchise of any kind anywhere across the fruited plains. So you have Pittsburgh, smaller market, and Green Bay, the tiniest market. And the ratings come out yesterday, and it was the most watched television show in the history of the medium. So, it just shows you, like I said, how full of crap these network guys are. It's just amazing. Just amazing, as I told you yesterday, up in Milwaukee, and that's not even Green Bay. That's still 2.5 hours away from Green Bay. They had an 85 share of the audience, meaning that 85% of all the TVs that were in use on Sunday evening were tuned into the Super Bowl. Almost sort of makes you wonder about the other 15%. I think that's a crime punishable by law. If the Packers are on and your TV is tuned into something else up there, they take that stuff pretty seriously. 111 million people watched that thing. Now, the people at TiVo, and again, this is another one of those things. They get you all excited about this whole DVR thing. Oh, gotta get a DVR. Look what you can do. You can pause live TV. You can roll things back. You can record all this stuff. It's all digital. There's no signal loss. All this sort of. Yeah, everybody goes, well, that's fabulous. And everybody loads up their flatbeds full of TiVos and sticks them all over the house. And then after they're in for a year or two, then they go, oh, by the way, we can monitor your television viewing activity, and we can even push a little button and we can tell what you're reviewing, rewinding over and over and over again. So we're actually monitoring what you're doing. See, I don't have TiVo. I have a DVR, but it's not with DirecTV. So anyhow, the people at TiVo say that the Super Bowl commercial that was most watched, rewound, and watched again was the Snickers commercial featuring Richard Lewis and Roseanne Barr, or Roseanne, whatever her name is. Number 2 was the Best Buy ad with Ozzy Osbourne and Justin Bieber. The Pepsi Max Love Hurts ad was number 3. The Darth Vader Volkswagen commercial with the little kid, that was number 4. And the Doritos commercial where the guy rips off his coworker's pants just to inhale the crumbs, and that's the crumbs of a Dorito, by the way, was number 5. The New York Times is reporting today that Keith Olbermann is moving on to Al Gore's network, Current TV. I have never watched Current. Until I saw this story, I wasn't even sure I had Current, so I punched it up, and sure enough, Dish Network does offer it, and it's there. This is Al Gore's network. Anyhow, we're going to make that official. The thing is, I think when he was on MSNBC, he had a potential something like 20 or 25 million more viewers because Current TV is not in a lot of households. So it seems like a very odd and curious move for Olbermann. You would have thought that he would have held on for something a little more substantial, but you don't know. There might be more to the story, so we'll see. Meanwhile, Regis Philbin has delayed his retirement from live, so the show has time to plan his goodbye episode. He was originally planning to leave in August. Now they're going to hang on until November, so we have almost an entire full year of Regis, if he makes it. Well, let the media circus begin. Here we go. You can see this coming. News cameras will be allowed in the courtroom when Dr. Conrad Murray goes on trial for allegedly causing the death of Michael Jackson. They're going to do the jury selection in late March. That will not be televised, but they expect the first week of April that this nonsense will begin. Playboy magazine's Hugh Hefner, who, I don't know, he's getting older and older and older, and he's 84 right now, and it just seems like a lot of people who start to get into their mid-80s just start saying wacky things and revealing odd things about themselves. I don't know, maybe they just get it off their chest, get it out of their system, whatever the case may be. Hugh Hefner says he didn't even pleasure himself until he was 22. I'm sorry, no, he was 18, and he didn't lose his virginity until he was 22. Hugh is about to enter into his third marriage. He is 84 years old. Crystal Harris is 24. He says, this is it. She's very special. I expect to spend the rest of my life with her. Well, that might be 2 years. So, good luck, Hugh. Sarah Palin tried to trademark her and Bristol Palin's names. All right? So she went and tried to, she filled out the forms to try to trademark Bristol Palin and Sarah Palin's names. The application was rejected because Sarah forgot to sign it. A new study found that from December 2009 to December 2010, the amount of email used by everyone under the age of 55 dropped dramatically. It dropped the most for people 12 to 17, down 59%. This is email down almost 60% in the last 2 years. Only people over the age of 55 used email more. Everyone else is leading towards texting, Facebook, and other social media. That's how fast the technology is changing. You have imagined 2 years ago, even a year ago, saying to somebody, well, I probably won't be using email in another year. It's just unbelievable. And I was sorry to see that our friends at Ultimate Electronics are apparently shutting down. This was a company that I did a lot of appearances for, did a lot of commercials for. Obviously, it didn't help. But, the economy is tough, and electronics chain stores are sometimes they're the ones hit hardest when you have an economic downturn. Plus everybody ran out and got all these flat screen, high definition TVs, and how often do you buy a TV? Let's just keep going buying TVs. You buy a TV, you have it for 10 years. And I think that's also been reflective in this whole 3D thing. I think that this 3D format is going to go the way of Blu-ray disc players which didn't really ever catch on, and HD radio, which was a joke from the beginning. So sorry to see our friends. We got a good friend down there, Matt Walt, who does a lot of work at the Fenton store of Ultimate Electronics. And I guess they're going to have like all these going out of business sales and everything like that. You might be able to pick something up good. But good luck to our friends at Ultimate Electronics. They were good people over there and had good stuff. All right, birthdays today. The only one I have is McGraw Millhaven, who is 44 years old today. Happy birthday, McGraw. We're going to be going to spring training. We're doing spring training live from Jupiter, Florida. As a matter of fact, that brings us to the issue of today's eye candy. Pitchers and catchers report to Jupiter this weekend. And then you've got, we're about 8 weeks away from opening day. 8 weeks. And we have some great pictures right below here on eye candy, a Busch Stadium in the snow. But, it's not going to be like that. It's supposed to be 50 degrees. I think it's Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. So a lot of that's going to melt. The place will start working on it pretty soon. And before you know it, it'll be play ball. Let's see here. So we're on the Big 550 KTRS every day from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. We have some great stuff this week. Diana DeGarmo from American Idol is going to be on with us today. That'll be over by the time you see this. But also we have Mark Steinis of Entertainment Tonight. We're going to have Paul Reiser. This is a guy who hosted the Grammys a couple of times, was on Mad About You, had all the money in the world. And something you probably did not know is that he was a musician before he was a comedian and an actor. And we're going to talk to him about that. So we have that. And also we have the producer of the Grammys. That's going to be Sunday night. And Ken Ehrlich, who not only is the producer of the Grammys, but has done that for like the last 30 years. And also has worked with basically every big-time comedian and singer in the business who's a factor at all today. This guy has a resume like you wouldn't believe. So those are some of the things that we have coming up. And of course, Smash on Friday, Joe Marlotti on a Thursday, Ladies on Wednesday, Eric Mink on Tuesday. That's it. I'm done. The Daily Dose for Tuesday, February 8th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.